Kessben 93.3 FM Kumasi so yeda so live ene enwumre sabre kobo nundu ya dwene Ghana men so amanyosem semo a e fa o mayi di ene ne nkoso we eyeka bi na men so men kire madwen abemumu ena ewe me de Kofi Appiah malam ya ene bom chidom enwumre as usual na ene sempi ho a ebeka na nsem wasisi ebebo so bi akyerewo de so mampani John Dramani Mahama okọ Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC okokosra omo na omo stress eka bi da ho 13 million cedis bi me GBC for abanhwe no ntua mampani kire se TV license ya say Ghana manfo bibiri na pese on betua aba pese sisem na eye mra foforo bi a ebema Ghana fo nyina nso yetimi agye atomu na obia nso tua aboasebe ya adwuma no nso betimi agina brane yefino so ebeba minority MPP mrasebajafo nso asoye na ehon so yaba he ensemo a omo ede atudwa sara nso na inyanentie ne nra nso abeto nso abetodwa se nipa makomako e hane du wotwe a omo nso so opre mrasebajani akonya ewo MPP amanyoku no din mu a omo anye yi ama omo no omo nyina declare omo support so omo ta Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Amechi so omo ebe Frankatukwo ede ama NPP amanyoku no na atoshe ode atudwa se sa endorsement no enye no na edito aba na delegates na ankasa wo form agro no ankasa wo form ho ti endorsement we de emfa nkudu bia Canada compare ko Japan e ba asante emantemu ensemu a esie ne ebenya brepa na ye di hon common candidature and senti a ogidi sawonso no na eto aba edema no ye ni kan koyo mampani John Dramani Mahama ensemu a waka ede afan central for said ye Ghana memu central for na abeti esi abruwe enedei abeto dwa se Ghana Fire Service for class FM central ni baako wo mo akoboro no pasa so akotwa video adwuma ade a mo ya akotwa video bro mo ama no kwan no mampani je sabre saa nipa nyina ache o ma intadete wo mo na ebe ya asem no hwemu no no amu ensentwe ni wontra ho e ma yenye ensentwe ni bi pasa wo Ghana memu inti de mampani de atodwa afa ho.
There are few suggestions we have with regards to the so-called TV license. And I think that our thinking is going in the same direction to amend that law and to make it a public media levy of some sort. And we're going to change the range of that levy so that it's better able to mobilize funding in order to be able to subsidize the work of the public media. And so when we are ready, it will be discussed in cabinet, but we'll discuss with you what our thinking is before we finally go to Parliament and amend the law. I'm sure that with some of the suggestions we've got, it will be able to raise the amount of funding that it brings in and make you better able to do your work. Your minister brought the issue of the legacy debts to us. And so what I've asked him to do is just to make sure that you keep up with the current bill. We're going to ring fence the legacy debt, and then we're bringing it to the attention of the Chief of Staff to find the funding to be able to defray the legacy. Let's discuss a new funding model to see how we can make you better able to discharge the mandates that you have. You've mentioned several things, and we're waiting to receive your proposals. I believe that you have the capacity and the assets to be able to modernize GBC. I mean, you sit on prime property in this city, and I believe that we can leverage some of those assets to create a more modern digital GBC that is more fit for purpose than in the past. We are reviewing the Constitution. The Constitutional Review Committee presented their report to me, and it is my hope that Chapter 12, that has served us well since 1992, we look at it again and see how we can tweak it in order that, you know, the media, the chapter on the media creates a better environment, especially for public media to be able to do its work. We'll continue to work with the National Media Commission in respect of the public media. And I think that in all these proposals, we'll bring the Media Commission on board so that all of us are on the same wavelength. We must discuss a new funding model to see how we can make you better able to discharge the mandates that you have. You've mentioned several things, and we're waiting to receive your proposals. I believe that you have the capacity and the assets to be able to modernize GBC. I mean, you sit on prime property in this city, and I believe that we can leverage some of those assets to create a more modern digital GBC that is more fit for purpose than in the past. We are reviewing the Constitution. The Constitutional Review Committee presented their report to me, and it is my hope that Chapter 12 that has served us well since 1990.
For your office, and of course, who speaks on behalf of the media, has condemned. For your office, and of course, who speaks on behalf of the media, has condemned this particular act coming from the fire service. Your Excellency, your take on that attack on journalists?
Oh, well, my views on that are known. I'm a journalist by training, and so there's no way we'll countenance, the continued assault from journalists. We've been in touch with the Ghana Journalists Association on these issues. We put them in touch with the security services. We need a reorientation of many of our security personnel to understand that just as they're doing their job of providing peace and safety, journalists are also doing their job of informing the people as to what is happening. So they are not antagonistic to each other. Indeed, they are both serving the same purpose. Yeah, so we're working on it. But occasionally these things will come up. But when they come, they must be dealt with, as firmly as possible. The Minister of Government Communication has taken it up. I think the officers have been identified, they've been interdicted, and
waiting somewhere, man, His Excellency John Dramani Mamadi 2 Jafan Century near Ghana's Fire Services for Bruno, your Chelsea, or no crime century into one traho, my yen central fire kayaka de nasa fire service for no. Ya intade to unina so move for Jumaton Kotrefi, now pussy for and so for more and far and rockers. You move on to the minority. NPP Rashabu First Central for ne. Now, Honorable Patricia PG, you're a deputy minority leader. Wakasa for gold board. Say, a share pie NPP Amanyuku ne de buy. Then so anyone was send a bay ma yakoton gold. Na yabohon eka. Yinti de or the tuja.
$4 million scandal. Nothing exposes the government's failure better than the gold board for reserve disaster. In just 9 months, we lose $240 million. $240 million gone. That is 2.6 billion cedis, money that could have been built, that could have built hospitals, equipped schools, and established storage facilities for farmers. Instead, it was lost in a politically connected gold scheme. Now, let us be clear. The Gold for Reserves program was the brainchild of the NPP government under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We conceptualized it, we designed it, we initiated it, and under our administration, it was managed with discipline, transparency, and accountability. The program, as we designed and implemented it, did not lose $240 million in 9 months. So what changed? The government and the people running the program. When President Mahama returned to power, he inherited a functioning program. He politicized it. He expanded it recklessly. He placed it in unprepared and potentially conflict hands.
Right. Honorable Patricia PJ, MP for Kumasi Asukwa and Deputy Minority Leader, Ono Edene, Bram Share Central for no Gold Board Home so or the Tuja, say Adia, MPP Abana Bresson of the Baye, na bay a buyer, and said on ye no, and I'm a caba. Yanaswa MPP Amanyukuna for only several swimming swa, number 12 you do video menu prema penedra, or a film near do no tree about no more. na ene nya ntie se nipa mako ha ene du nwotwe a wo mo pray so be komra se bedwam e wo MPP din mu anye yie no wo nyina declare support for Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia se ono a ne call 2024 no ono a na omo sign ata na chibio yentie de omo editu dwa.
His leadership qualities demonstrated during his tenure as vice president, his technical expertise in economics and finance, his commitment to Ghana's digital transformation and good governance, his compassion and empathy for the Ghanaian people are key qualities that make Dr. Bawumia an ideal leader of our party at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that Dr. Bawumia's leadership will be a game changer for Ghana. Hence, our decision to support his candidature. By so doing, we are committed to working with him in whatever capacity to achieve a brighter future for our dear country, Ghana. In essence, whether some of us here intend to seek the mandate of our constituents in the yet to be organized parliamentary primaries as part of the party's preparation towards the 2028 general elections or not is immaterial. Indeed, our personal ambitions have no bearing whatsoever to our collective resolve to support His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in the upcoming presidential primaries. Please be assured that none of us has been induced, compelled, or cajoled, nor railroaded into taking this position that we are making public today. Any suggestion of inducement, as is often bandied about when declarations of this nature are made, should be roundly dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not in doubt that Dr. Bawumia has been the most consequential vice president so far in the Fourth Republic. That, regardless of his limited constitutionally defined role of assisting the president in the execution of his mandate to the people of Ghana, Dr. Bawumia.
Right, we ANSMO 118 candidates are one koye marasel jafo omo editu ya no na atoshe ya ono so oka omo a omo edit onyanfo Kennedy akompre ko Japan campaign no eche odi atudwa say sa endorsement we no enye no enom de beto aba no ti amanfo endorso na delegates ne so omo mpewo a enye ade be yi na John Bodo endorsement kura wonyaye no se endorsement pa de to aba enka ono eno wini sai wini general secretary nye se wodi nkokutie na atoshe so de odi atudwa
ebi mu aba omo pa ye promise wo mu post to omo ba no ba be ka kire wo se to ko ha ye ma ne post na no wedi mu aduane nkasai no na odi abrewo ene wo wa ye say 100 people declare for this. Who are these people declare for this? Na mu declare ya no ene de mbae. Onua enye obi declaration ena ye de beto. Ye bie ye ni shine your eyes. Ni adwene ye ho ni yato. Jombo edu kwa kojina. 15 regional chairmen ena declare mano no reporto repos etimedia mi twa wo kana declare ma medie me mfanya asem. Delegates, it is time to vote for yourself. Mutubi ma akofo mutubi ma Eastern region and yebusa wo say aba ato edien wo a wo de be kire muni hwe mpenifo ya beji kodia ne de nkasai na aboa. This time wotuama wodofo the odo grassroots the pet delegates asem the assembly o kebi ma won the aneyamu ye the anesabu go the hiamu awo beba ebi mu aba omopa.
Right, we see arena to she ya ono so ka Kennedy Japan campaign ho ono so no chimu say enye endorsement no ka endorsement kwa dia ka John Bodo 15 out of 16 regional chairpersons they declare man no and so ankuye amfa ma no and then 8 January, just about 24 days or so. Now about 2 years, and the asking crowd was 23 days. Now about just about 3 weeks, and I kind of see to crisscross the whole nation. Umechini Ghana, you know, come as a delegates, no, say Omontuaba and Amom. Who wears the crown? Why anybody in Kunim? And then you focus on Kennedy Japan campaign. When you say was Santemantemu, now buy no and semi brain so and a PP more and then Ebony Como. Lawyer William Kusiwaha, 1 year Ashanti Regional Director of Communication, Kennedy Japan campaign. Or also a high number, said the campaign Musem etina. They said you won't come out for you, no. You will the gospel according to Kennedy Japan. Say, we need at the end hands down. And as I say, lawyer, Akaba. I wish you pass.
I think what material of Appiah.
And now here dear.
Appiah. I wish you papa because she arche.
Aye, now here dear.
Oh yes, you show me.
I say, oh, Jumano, can in our boom. Now calling him, sir. Now, as I say, said that I making campaign say Nipenum and not on my muti. Ya more pray. Kabreja Japan, Brian Champon, Dr. Baumia, Kennedy Japan, and I feel Dr. Yao Seduchum. Biasi and Tomamano. Now, all support to Kennedy Japan from previous election, Edebe Pim and Nina. What's your campaign? We are saying,
no matter some chair tea for so. You were a kind of Michiano, Frukumasi, or Central Region.
Okay.
Sana Nere, Obapa, Christie. On the Michiano pa campaign where they are today. Because we were 2023 and I make a hopa. We worked very hard. And we achieved some results which didn't win the election. But we share the responses now. The energy said, CM 37 back when I were the 60. Because looking at the old campaign here, I'm saying a single person who was in government to support us. Not a single person in the executive supported us.
Okay.
But now, we screen is not to see that. And many, many others. KK's upon interview, I think you heard his position.
Yeah.
Many, I can't give you the list. Kwama Kwatin. Abuasi MP or say former one or say Obisa about me team said, but maybe to my coaches go for Snama. Oman to me and sent to Odiken. Many others. So it tells you, say, with the 2023 delegate system, the people involved haven't changed much. They've been at the other camp. Near 37, let's say, wait here. Obviously, we do far better. And then my hoto so say, Ampa, secondly, social message I can cry or the born to obviously, he's telling the delegates something new, something they haven't heard before. Okura Kube. And no sure they say Kube na media chair is when you know these are the things that they can do to better the lot of Ghanaians, including the delegates. Oba school 5 years onya adwuma in the Kube is work. No affair bro. No everything that we have locally. Kennedy Japan has an idea how to transform it to wealth. And I'm very sure that we are blockheaded saying that's our message now. Senyo nuane the other candidate no. You only have to vote for Kennedy Japan.
Okay. Yes, previous election. Kennedy Japan first round no query no the second. Emma Alan Pulu out. Emma One Tabaumia call a second round. MPP Amanyoku performance in that election 2024. MPP are more modern. Yeah, NDC it will be 1.7 million votes. Na say DNT pa na ma MPP it didn't Google sir. Was it about the candidate or governance said the Musibu mine?
It was first the candidate and second governor.
Okay.
First the candidate because so share about one any votes nearby now. It is easy to explain. The candidate now, you didn't buy no. The presumption was a base. Candidate be a contest here. There is something called a base. Baby are heavily favored. I know. I do feel so. Or they votes be the baby. You ready to call you? None base is zongos. And in the north. But don't share the trend of the voting now. All those places are not parts and expect to say Kobayadi and Wanyadi. Now the crowd be not in your view or saying. And until the base in the failing necessary, obviously we have failed. That explains why you free 6.something million, about 4 million, 2 whooping million votes and more.
But that's why election now, trend and it say almost everywhere no MPP lose so abysmally.
Because the candidate was all liked. The party went and chose a candidate that Ghanaians didn't like. Against all the advice. Against all the odds. Ubasha. But Omia's selection, MPP and far vice president and contest. That. Vice president will be a contest be our society. It is only under Baumia and you do be our vice president. I mean, you lose election call. Na do ankasa ede Baumia ban o promise Ghanaians or the back because of economic measure. No abeboa no no economist no abo economy. And getting to the latter part, the first term was good. The second term was bad. And economically so was worse. And I'm not a vice president or no, you say, economic measure or na control is over Kaya doom pempens, but say, watch $1 no at to me this former IGP. He said him not an adu. Na dollar free for cost 17. Na economy I did the boy be a boy I did not ordinary cost Ghana for 2 man. Obviously, it was a bad choice. Because the man, na and Tanzania ban home. Some be boom man, money yet and watch it. And this is against a program like Free SHS. You're defeating I can see power.
But your economy, no. On one more campaign time, it is so I can say the finance minister was in charge of the monetary and policy. And one peninsula headquarterization. Metina na komia this week on also say economy na kasano na nye Dr. Baumia answer no the finance minister and maybe you couldn't come out and tell us.
These are new facts. And I can assure you that they were worked out. Ye obabe blame na ado no. No matter chance na show. And yes a coincidental. They thought to say obetimi use na ado because na ado is not contesting again. Nanko were gaining popularity, but yeah, backfire no jai. And we all knew Baumia was in charge of economic management team. And as a matter of fact, his confession and statements showed that he was in charge of the government. At the probably year 2 government in Baumia as if there was no president. At the end of the na ye positive Baumia on the and then call around the and it's not correct. The finance minister has his role. He's not in charge of the economy. And he said, Baumia Bekasa, we can't accept it. Position will be in the role. President Okachi said he's the most fortunate vice president because the president has ceded most of his powers to him. You know the kind. Baumia the kind. And when it failed, now some over part say things went wrong rather than to try to justify why he failed. Nanko Atnasi. Near the Adiana should be from Sa. No, and the Baumia's choice was the major cause of our defeat. The man was not like, let me give you one typical example of his choice. The Northern conflict. Kusasi, Mamprusi. Was it not as a result of his candidature and a my disadvantage? Because between the two tribes, when there is conflict, so we contest here, we Funyina and Tomo. Mamprusi is in the minority. Kusasis, any Gonjas, they are almost 1 million. And they are vowed. In fact, they came out openly. Say, well, Numa Kessben and all that. So all of them virtually did not vote for him. We lost 1 million votes before we went into the election. And then many say, has it been resolved? Yes, we are losing 1 million votes before we start the election. That is why we are telling the party people, you may like Bawumia, he may be a gentleman to you, but the fact of the matter is that he's not a winnable candidate. And this is a moment say, Marco to Abanama Lusu. No matter Sanla, I say, Bawumia is your favorite candidate, gentleman. You are telling the party to go back to opposition. And it's not patriotic.
But Nana do cross out 2012. Almost challenging a can be brief. I know say Banchi idea could just so I anto. Or say about 2012 and ye. But 2016 he won massively.
Nanado's case is different. I've stated the vice president dynamics. Number 2, Nanado's first election he won.
Yeah.
Second one he lost.
Run off.
Yes. He lost. How can you compare somebody who had 38?
Well, was it not because of, said the former President Kufusi Boumaino? We say Ghana for a hair, a memo, no sitting on the Atuaba. It is be another memo, Uncle, yeah, Omontoma Baumia. That does not mean to be about me.
No, but you can't say that. Assuming Nanado chose somebody else apart from Nanado. The party chose somebody differently from Nanado. Who was not popular. Kavizo Benya for 9%. Konya, Nanado had endured himself in Ghanaian politics. So they were gaining popularity. Remember, popularity is very important in politics. I don't think you choose no timinya as a percentage, you know. Now, say Kufuor Amamodi wasn't going 50 plus 1 at a go, but he couldn't. And remember, Kufuor's second term, he also had difficulties. It wasn't as smooth as his first term. But yet, Nanado won the first election. And he would compare Bawumia and Nyeye because whilst he had 49 plus, Bawumia had 38. And it's
Kufuor so 96, when you're 39.
Yes.
You hear on Bawumia. It's a Bawumia yade.
It cannot be true. Kufuor, 1996. Then your electoral process not today. Rollins, who could contest with Rollins? The reason why they took Kufuor back was to contest against Rollins and get 39%. It was strange. Everybody was so impressed about the performance because we know we were coming from a dictatorship. The dictator himself was still in power. Opaque ballot boxes, any conditions and pertaining. It was magic. Kufuor had 39%. You can't compare to Bawumia, who was an incumbent vice president with MPP government in power, contesting against an opposition party. You can't compare the two. Kufuor performance, there's no way you can compare Bawumia's performance with it. Kufuor was in opposition. We had not tasted power as a party before. The man who had ruled Ghana for over 11 years was he in power. He appointed the electoral commission, he had the IGP, he had everybody. And certainly we knew the condition. And this way, Bawumia resources to contest. He had all the support officially, had everything, but yet had 38%.
41, not 38.
Okay, first 38, second, to me, I'm the first one. For first is always the best.
40, okay.
So,
let's stick to the 41.
41.
So, Canada, John Mahama was an incumbent president.
Yeah.
President that went in Vienna.
Yeah.
Or on the second term, opposition be between Maninya 44.
Yeah.
It is a Obi or no vice.
Yeah.
Said you know a certain president cry on second term. When you're 48, not vice in your 41. I think it was not bad.
It was bad.
Okay.
Because if you look at the figures, it is bad. Those who had those figures did not, the real figures did not reduce. It was the percentage terms. But in this case, we have lost 2 million votes.
But that's what normally happens. Party no be 8 years we are. Now, amount for Bofu.
I remember the table of Can you say elections near Lusu? In red terms, you lose the number of votes in Yadabi. We have progressed since 92 to where we are, 6 million. What does it? It is only under Bawumia and Yetiba from Ufe chart now. Yekosa, Yelusukra and Yekosro. Bawumia kwane ba Yetiba 2 million votes. Bawumia performance in the a bonk me who didn't tell MP to me suggest if Bawumia Vanko because he cannot win the elections.
It you say said the amemo no koye no said the neema boy den ne ade no eno no nyensu so ne mu a candidate na onye presentable na ye ton no ayento because na uti Ghana for na ka se o dollar aba form inflation aba form e je say amemo dada na no mu no amo aban no ho fono wo mo it is a wo de hwan kra na gina ya MPP was bound to lose after 8 years.
If we had somebody who was promising, because remember, John Mahama had been a president before, and he was the first president to have lost in the first term.
Sure.
I tell how bad Ghanaians saw him. What do I say? And this Kenya candidate to represent Abula can not suffer this, because they would have seen as a new hope for Ghana, somebody who has not been tested, as against two testees who were John Mahama and Alhaji Bawumia omnyina aba yehu say no omnyina performance there. But what Ghanaians told us was between Mahama and Bawumia, Mahama is a hero. That's what they told us. And that hasn't changed in any way. Because remember, Seattle, MPP was on early elections so that they can get their candidate, assuming without prejudice. In fact, it's not likely to happen that Bawumia wins the election. I didn't campaign over. Montuma na $5 and sango 17. And I say inflation me fanko double digit. How can he convince Ghanaians? Say he's come to offer them something better. That is the difficulty, and that's what MPP for. He can't campaign. They will chase him when he goes there to campaign because he has nothing to offer. Presumably, NDC is doing well now because of the figures. Me, NDC yeah, in terms of the CD and but NDC in 1 year term they did nothing. So it's not to me it's not surprising, but the figures are there. Prices have reduced because they decided, like the president said, yeah man 1 year holiday, and in fact the holiday and not gold board and or say my gold board, that's my achievement. Unfortunately for IMF, I suppose say gold board is a failure because the loss is about. And you know, Bawumia is a candidate there, and Kaduchmu. Kaduchmu was a minister whose ministry succeeded. And if you put him to test, he will tell you, like he told Bawumia, say, oh, Pacho, man, and me, because me, as far as I'm concerned, I did well as a minister.
Then the ministry not fall to be any home.
Not fall to home, but he did extremely well to start a program of this magnitude. Now they do look at the schools he introduced. What does it? And this is for now president before we left office. They were contemplating, said, so they wanted to work with him. It was testimonial. And the Bawumia there, every before Muti Misremo and the delegates. Muye mistake or Tuma Bawumia there, you are saying that you want to stay in opposition for another 8 years. Because the candidate NDC is bringing will be a new candidate whose tenure will be 2 years. And by virtue of our historical background, it's an exceptional case for somebody to contest once and lose.
So that means that most of the first candidates in a bar, Bawumia contested in this in China, will be a first time candidate,
yes,
which is unlikely. So between you winning.
Jerry Rollins won as a first.
Oh, Rollins was selling our canoe.
John Mahama
military government. John Mahama was on no. Oh, we are talking about the fourth republic.
Yes.
Fourth republic.
We have history. And I'm Bobby Rollins, current president.
Rollins with the idea or a military leader. First time I echo election will be a first timer.
Yeah.
But after Rollins say bano, John Mahama first time winning, you know, Mills free move to prove.
Yeah.
And winning Olusu 2016, Olusu 2020, eba the third time.
Yeah.
Asana Ghana for Sadi Amano.
But in this case, like you are rightly saying, Obina first time. So the
it's more presented your old face or no popular.
Old face they can. The oldest face in our politics amongst them, Ken engineer.
A ballot paper.
No, you are talking about old faces. It is Ken and engineer Bawumia came to politics.
No, I'm talking about general election. Nipa the dia ballot paper so Ghana for who no say ye to no so
ballot paper one me hu. Obi a Ghana for who no dia ye Kennedy Japan. He's in there for good and bad. And he is known by every household. But me also a picture ko. And you want to see any no there, you negatively. You need so worry. You need so the dollar cost 17. So his popularity comes with negativity. Whilst Kennedy Japan is humanitarian, philanthropic works, being a parliamentarian for 24 years, and he's somebody who fight for justice. That is positive about him.
Right. It was for na utie wa Kessben 93.3 FM and I hear Kessben television so at the punch. You may de na utie na he ene enwumre ene lawyer William Kusio, director of communication marketing Japan campaign team no na AD enkomo. Afi said na okay yemra can the Japan so. What makes him stand tall? Say MPP Edi Nkugua, he was part of government. He was no yemra shebedwani ya board kra o de biso bibia ba na bibia na oka ho bi obetimi aka se de Ghana fo gina asoto abeti a MPP bi ende won ka ho e de ma ka de Japan ye different ye ntie se Ghana fo to aba e ma no
the Japan is different because he promises job. That is number one. And it's not just a promise. He creates job for the people. Minuka say he has more than 7,000 employees to his credit. Now, Okan said the government baby, I know he openly criticized his own government when they were going wrong. If he were part of it, he would not come out openly to criticize them. So he was one person who was exceptional politician who could criticize his own party and warn them. Say more lose where we because of the city. Because bank consistency, if you just the way he was explaining, you understand. So for Kennedy Japan, yes, he was in MPP. He was a parliamentarian for 24 years. But consistently, he criticized his government when they were wrong. They told me, in his office as a parliamentarian, as a businessman, he took time as a Ghanaian to change the environment of those he came across. Or create jobs, no after nipa. Party for our boy, someone like Katie Hammond or Tofiete. Yeah, but what about on them constituency by constituency, no donate 100,000 Ghana cedis. That is Canada Japan for you. He has bought more than 700 pickups for the party. And so he's different because his attitude and everything is different from the ordinary politicians in Ghana. And Canada Japan is an opportunity for Ghana. Nesuni pano, ufye ye political terema akapako. Si Antoine Manu Chomua, it will take us centuries to get another person. This will be a contest president. It will take centuries for us to get another person who is like Japan. And he is different. The party's failure is not linked to him because he was a parliamentarian. He was on a board. And the board, I cooperate with no done boards, they perform excellently well during his tenure. And to want to say, now for. And I want to share Bobby Azungu in one mass. When you say Canada, Japan, one MPR, Okaso Sifomana, Nikrum, Ahine, Yamkofa, Frantoma, a patch of some say on some review. And can any political ambition to become a president, or that's what the parliament, because they won't let him go. And just say he has something very special. I quite remember some of these people who criticize Canada, Japan, say you could not deliver your constituency. Yet he never contested. How were they expecting him to deliver? He took the constituency from NDC. It was an NDC stronghold.
Yeah.
And on no Koji here. For all the 24 years, you know.
But by good leader, so kind Bible, a brand Yami friend Moses, no. Israel for call first or Amalek. Yami catches a catcher Joshua say, many Amalek for call the Bia. So Moses was preparing Joshua. It got Ken. Say no name say a sin central that you be see from. Did he groom somebody? I said that you be no, we see for more, we be take you over. There's one groom will be to free more and NDC for you in simple.
One groom will be because the exit, you know the circumstances behind his exit. Tell him. The party people called him names during the contest. He's a good person to have even smiled to any party person. They called him names and all that. And so your contesting were winning. He should have gone to Canada, Japan, and seek his support. And plead with him, say, how am I going to win? And yet Canada, Japan also question is, I say, but I mean, found power. What also con? Most story are okay. Aaron, do you know how Aaron served Moses? Aaron. So who sent serve Moses?
Yeah.
Hey, Sakwana serve Canada, Japan in that manner. And you will lose, and yet Canada, Japan, and lose you. But what is important is that Canada, if he were the one contest, he would have won the seat. A channel, the qualities Canada, Japan has, as far as dealing with human beings. Remember, politicians, call appointments, Asante region, MPs, call one term. Do you know why? They are human relations. They don't know how to deal with people. Canada, Japan does. Giving scholarships, feeding people, ensuring that the right thing is done in his constituency. And that is the quality he has. Different from Baumia, Aduchum, Engineer Japan, and who is the next one?
Brian Champo.
Brian Champo.
Right. Let's have about Subi. I'm here message in the Kakra. Now I'm human relations, you know, and what he has to bring to the table as a businessman. Also, a good evening to you and your panel members. I'm Modern to Mdehene and Abuaji from Asante Achimwidim. But for this is not the time to focus on opposition parties, but to focus on the government to guide or force him to do what is right for the country, but not the opposition who are just wasting money unnecessarily. Opposition names so Benji from Fancy Sewa, greetings to okay. President Mahama makes everything stable like what it is in the year ahead. Okay. Mr. Host, why should the MPP micro minority waste their energy trying to hold press conference which Ghanaians has no ears for? Mark from Prestia. Okay. Teacher Eric A.K. will be here in we need more delegates to declare their support for Dr. Baumia because he's the right choice to move Ghana forward. So let us all vote massively for number 3. Okay. Almighty Crocodile at Good Brother Ventures, Asante Achimago. Please, good evening, Wofa. I am a delegate and I'll vote for Dr. Baumia come 31st January 2026 because he has conducted himself well in his campaign and again believe in his ideas. His honorable Canadian upon utterances rather than that made MPP lose the 2024 election, not Dr. Baumia being the candidate. No wonder, okay. Golden Boy, Anas, man pointing. Good evening, Wofa. Of now, Ghanaians know the difference between the NDC and MPP. So let me set the record straight. You see, for the past 1 year, there's no increase in anything in Ghana. And again, in 2016, a Kenke sell 1 cedi. That is the NDC government. And from then, 2017 to 2024, Kenke sells at 7 cedis. Can you imagine? So the MPP communicators in their so-called serial callers should stop making noise and propaganda. Teacher Kujo from Tepa Enyasuso. Anyone who is old enough knows that Baumia is leading because he started grooming himself for the job 18 years ago. Baumia has contributed significantly to important government policies. Someone should tell me one policy contribution of Canada Japan in his entire political career. Anyone who has been the president of Ghana learned early in their lives the power of words. Kennedy has a bright chance to be president, but he refused to groom himself and blew it with careless talk. And every wise person knows so. So he shouldn't blame anyone. Greetings to Chairman Wofa Kofi Appiah Kuka. Okay, I'm here a couple of messages near to us. Good evening, Wofa. Please tell Layakusi, MPP never had 38. It was 41. Something so I don't know why they are singing NDC song. You should come again. The no suit. Wofa, ask him again if MPP President Ken will he have won in 2024? Good evening, Wofa. No matter what lawyer will say, Dr. Baumia is winning massively. Ken is not credible for presidency. Delegates, shine your eyes. Why didn't NDC continue to repeat your mama for 3 consecutive times for him to win? MPP should follow same. Ureku Achim Oda. Good evening, Wofa. I am Kwame listening to you live from Yaohima, Sunyai. Please tell lawyer William see that the voter turnout were poor. Thank you. Okay. If Bawumia can secure victory for NPP in the general elections, in the general national election, I don't think Ken can do that if he is given 20 years to do that. If the delegates do not want the NPP party to exist as a political party in Ghana, they should reject Bawumia and elect a different person. It can help to win his seat for NPP, Kwame from Takwa. Good evening, Wofa. Please tell the man in the city that if he think Bawumia did not perform well in the last election, why didn't he also contest? Tell him that we don't want the candidate who will represent the other country and say, Marafaka, Bawumia is coming live. So you should go and die. Say, Ike inside her table. Master Planner Junior, policy analyst for King Tampo. If Bawumia popularity comes with bag tag, with dollar rate, then can Japan popularity come with insulting? Okay, if I listen to this man, clearly show that he didn't vote for or campaign for NPP in 2024. He says something and I quote. And he said, Mose mokoto abano na mulusu. He said this after all that tribal bigotry in his speech. When NPP lost election in 2008, was it because of the Bawumia and Boko fight? You are the campaign communication director of Kennedy, so but you have mentioned Dr. Bawumia's name more than your candidate, all because of hatred. Good evening to you and your partner. Kennedy Japan is the only candidate who can win power in 2028 for the MPP because he's bold, humble, honest, and is practicality leader. And also think about the grassroots. So let's vote for Ken. And Kama from Doma on the way so ebaye. John Mensa organized the NPP Côte d'Ivoire branch. All the diaspora 31st January 2026. I beg you vote for Dr. Bawumia because Dr. Bawumia is a good leader for 2028. It is possible to win. Okay. Right, lawyer, the punch you made now here on Kessben television, so was out here on Kessben 93.3. Can Japan a businessman and oba politics mo? De bia mokase nyuma hoyinti oba ono betimi di o man anymore. Doing business and managing the nation, the economy, everything. You know who say that.
It's wealth creation, nothing more, nothing else. If you go to America, they have gotten to a point of human rights. In our part of the world, politics is wealth creation. And the business and politics are the same in Africa. It is the one who has business wisdom who can transform the nation, not academic wisdom. And that explains why we are where we are today. People come and take the positions and speak language. Bravo. That is what they think can transform a nation. That is the colonial mentality that we inherited. And then we are delivered by the presence of Kennedy Japan, who is demonstrating that it doesn't take English language to lead the people. So vote for him and see if what he said is not true. And ya bravo ni edibu mai. Uba Africa ha empanyinie eye sikayo ajapade ye because you see unlike America ne country say amoma yi a omahu bibi oso mu no technologically omko animu no ye ntisa afini edum pempe so ye akwan ye si schools ye sa ni man enti ye sika ene ehia enti so obi aye business no otimi asosiri all this while. A chest of the Ghana Shen is a City. Will be on no me a Juma and for any pattern, crowd as if I can in Hashem, me Juma. Can he do it? Look at the flag Kennedy has, or call voter region, no Akoto 30,000 acres of land. Or say I'm going to invest here in the Volta region. In Beduya cassava, my ethanol, and other things. Other related products from cassava. Now we are export to go. Or do not also look from this place to London is less than 6 hours. If you give me the opportunity, you have vegetables. Early morning, no Europe. Organic. Near Tony hard currency. Near the support to economy. What economics is more than what this man is saying? When you super R square, but what my economics actually say possible. You want people to use some language you don't understand to deceive you. Say, wabio. Obi wabme economy near the economy, the economy. And what I'm trying to say is that Canada, Japan as a business person is the best person fit for the position because we need someone to create wealth for Ghana.
Maybe I said okay. Mose will be a numa or be a numa. Impact of the numa will be a business.
A numa will be the impact there. But first, it has created employment for many people. If he has officially employed 7,000 people, now heard the chain of supply and your more distributor. By extension, we employ 35,000. And the first point and effect of his creation of jobs is creating employment, which is very crucial at this time in our elections. Number two, he has created wealth. If he engages, he has a lawyer in one of his radio stations manning it. He has employed a lawyer who has children, who support them in their education, who has a wife. That chain of support, is prosperity. And so he has also created prosperity because he has created a chain of employment which has generated profit, which has helped the economy. And he has created economic benefits to the country. And Ghana, going to be a problem in Ghana. And you ma, and to Canada, Japan, there are several many effects. Look at Amantin Start Factory. These lands were lying there idle. He has put to use that what God has given us and then Canada, Japan, Juma. Otherwise, Kedaho, Obi Kodo, 2 acres, or 7 years full. At the channel of a basket. Containing 6 kind of 2 acres. Canada, Japan has showed, say, also a cultivating a full kakraka, commercial farming. That's what he has introduced. In fact, people don't know a lot of his investment, like real estate, like transport, and many, many other things that are not visible for people to see. And the plastic you see, bottle now, the cheap fertilizer near that. He's the one who is producing them in this country. He that who were importing them from outside. Bottled water, bottles, Temawa started steel factory, and also kakraka. Not to mention his co-stores and many others. So, seriously speaking, the effect Canada Japan election will be winning, general election. The employment in Grabberman votes are the opponents in India. Oma former money on money on Mabusia. Votes on Betoma Canada Japan. It is as good as leading 1 million votes to send a Baumia bar or with a deficit of 1 million. Ken is starting with a positive of 1 million votes because of his employees, their family, their relations, their friends, and their church members. And that is the advantage Canada Japan brings on board.
All right. Yehwe ne semwa okaye in election 2024. Mo party malan semwa mo kan say semwa no kaye bra mo ye mo primaries no. Eno a na NDC for fire omo de ye numerous advertisement and campaign a omo de kuti amonti se mo lusu 2024 election no a Can Japan mean some more kind of my party lose you?
If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Who said it?
That's about me.
And you I don't know Kennedy if Kennedy were that popular, but Miakas no repeating will be at the then why don't you vote for him? So a popular say or no, but Miakas will be anti on the cars and independent Because according to them, he quoted Bawumia, and therefore people heard. Now say Bawumia kaza obi ante. Does it make sense? If we are a popular candidate now contesting, we become asema yetutia. Fundamentals are weak, no can or more can. Kennedy Ankoshe, Bawumia and Shem passing no can. It was a press conference. Yeah, microphones by 30, synonym, and no can. And to me, that couldn't have been the reason why Bawumia lost the election. In any way, John Mahama, when he was contesting, one of the candidates called him a name. Yet he won. Because what? He was liked by the people and he was popular. Because Bawumia was unpopular, everything he said that was repeated caused his defeat. That wasn't Kennedy Japan. In any way, didn't Bawumia and his people say anything about Kennedy Japan? They said several of them. I didn't know Bawumia home as because oh yeah, some angel be and I said God be that. You can't go to an election, a public contest, and expect to be and can't answer. It can't happen. At the end, we have taken in good faith. We are telling them that it is making us more popular. And Bawumia banner the dollar every 4 or 17 as I can. Now I can't say Ghana for the no money for that. What if 4 or 17? And this is for no money. These are childish accusations against Kennedy Japan. Bawumia is simply unpopular. He's not a winnable candidate. And the number of times he didn't lose. That is what it is. That is the fact of the matter.
Maybe people can be say ya father now by the third time we need.
Madam Auntie. Ebi opposition for the say, Odimini president da. So, by a Jesus Muniama. Edaneno. Yes. Do you think that we did not pray on that? We prayed and God turned that. And he won. Or Kwabi year contest, if he has in the stars and in so. A year 5 was so he needs 7 or no more per moi. Say a bear. I bet I need 7 or to me we need power. And no cross here to man. Kennedy Japan, what trust have a crowd?
Spiritual dimension also a cajon.
I can't crowd number 8.
The stars
and I do it to our bro. Uja for Nam I 5. And the same people for some opposition, they should proceed. And no call baby, some Yaman.
And the end saying,
a serious aquantire. Aquantire. I said, Baba Aquantire. Sir. You see, under the new dispensation, the emphasis is on, not on directions, but directions. I told the idea, Obin can't just say,
right, my message Kakramesa Basuvio. Also, we are voting for Kennedy Ohene Japan. He's the winning candidate. Mugabe, that they are safe, and all the way free buy. Or say everyone knows that Ghana is now okay for every businessman. NPP should stop rapping for Ghanaians. Shaibu from Boko and also the way a free buy. Okay. From Teacher Constitution, we are more say. In fact, Ghana is gradually thinking, how can someone who was at loggerheads, okay, my message in that's the only time that we can read it for you, not any other issue. Right. Locals tell NPP supporters whether he will vote for NDC if Dr. Amia wins the NPP primaries. Ken is not a presidential material for now. NPP delegates should save the party by voting massively for Dr. Bawumia. Number, no try and error this time. NPP Ibu Siako Jansa and also anyway a free a buy yeah. I'll say of a good evening, but please let us be bold and expose the president for 419 governance. Okay, the no team dehini. Master planner, I think my kind of message was I call Asabe Pew. Good evening. I'm Lenel Oko Sosi of Krofrom. The line in the studio knows how to talk very much. If I'm a delegate, I'll have voted for Ken, but I'm an NDC sympathizer. But if Ken wins, I'll definitely vote for Ken in 2020. Very often, I'm Sita Modest from Brekum Golden City. Those contesting the NPP flag bearership are all disqualified. They should go as really we not going to go there. Inti papai watro no few na twi na watro no mean to mean kind anyway. Good over. A vote for Kenya Japan is a disaster for NPP. Governance is not business as usual. I don't think Kenya Japan is more than Ibrahim Mahama or Dangote. I see any of them saying they want to be president because they are businessmen. The Amantin Start Factory you mentioned is not for Kenya Japan. That factory belongs to William Opon Bill, and that factory is not even functioning now. I challenge lawyer to mention just 3 factories of Kenya Japan where they are located. It should give us a break. Okay. Also, I don't know. Good evening to your father and your guests. NPP flag bearers campaign team should be polite and decorous in their speech in order not to segment the party after the election for that escape from Kenya say and all the way and so a free a buy. Good evening, your father. It's Kwame from Yahima. Kwame some account message and I think I can message aside of Raba. Please let lawyer know that being able to manage a business with a small base of issues is different from presidency. A country with a broad base of issues. Thank you. And also the teacher constitution also message now the by said let it be about issues that we are discussing. The lawyer style of communication is not appealing. Please, this is politics. Your communication should be sober and appealing. It's my humble advice. A free and also a day or a buy and no. I say, Mr. House, I don't think this man is a true MPP from Gabi, my boy. Teacher could you tap in the suso? Kenya should know that if he were brave, why was his seat in his own constituency taken by the NDC? Is he not the one who spoke about peace and unity about a week ago? Don't listen to this man because he is a threat to the party. Okay. Okay, teacher could you tell Did Kennedy say he will bring Zongo vote, Muslim vote, Kennedy all the way? The graft also the air or the buyer and so I don't know. All right, like Yamra, now you Kennedy a bar Santa region Asokwa. Malamaya Cradwa, Yenti DC Asokwa. Na Yamra mehe, and some kakra, about for so a worker. Kennedy Japan. Brack in Japan Bakusi at Delegacy was quite constituency. Malam, so I cradwa, Yinti, Samoa, see all.
Everybody to have patience when your man come support him. Allow everybody to speak. But I want to assure you, nobody can intimidate anybody here. Juma. And you cultural Juma. Obia Jimmy Mo, Obia Treniwa. Unia Jan will face you. We are going to face them. Every say. Would you also wrong. Only panic to home. I want to tell you, stop that. Party bako muti ho muya muhuata kabinsam NDC for bana mujane muti kumasia bonting am ya lose 400,000 votes ya chia seat a free ensem na mahuade no mo wai ahuade no mo wai please we are tired have patience when your man come support him. Allow everybody.
Right. Yeah, Kenya Japan ba aska. Lawyer dey see e. They ate ne say okasa no be sorry say o. The all kind of name so asem the yinti e beto amado tabamia. And the bufuye. What happened?
It's not true.
And what happened?
The longest serving general secretary from the north, Reverend Dini, Fair Khaled Mabi, he was speaking. and all can say MPP before a party be a co-contest. He uses his strong base, and the MPP before should also choose somebody from where their strength is. If you look at the trend of 2024 election now, and will be reactive from there. Be static and no man for try to almost stop on from that. That's what he did. And Sana Ken came later on when he was speaking. Waka said, "Whoa, Sunipa but no support or can answer." Then he supported, but don't stop somebody because he's not supporting your candidate. What do I say? So it's not as though Kennedy was speaking and Nippon yes. Only me as I think he be flashing out. And he be flashing 1 second. And yes, I'm not here. It was that man who was speaking. And as our confusion is here. Kennedy sat down quietly. And in a second, microphone watch him say, "Oh, wow, like we all heard. We need a bar. No support. No, son, I can say, we're not dorsum." No, not just as it's all over. Say, run Canada, and we are aware of what is happening. Trust you dear free abomu, it's all over.
The abono say ready up to now.
Well, I have verification of you.
Okay.
There were a lot of issues, I'm sure, but now they have finished resolving them. And you know, that is what it is. It wasn't against Canada, Japan, as people want to portray. It was before Canada, Japan held his microphone and our advice. Incident BSC. Obi or no support no. Kasa party ni kasa. And obi tio and what TM fancy mufrio yemfa oboa. Yes. And so to trust him. And no advice said obi and support to nipa no just up kasa attack. Allow everybody to flow. After all, kwa say okoto abano privately. And yes, ko chanda na ko declare say me there ye oma yakoto aba lusu ye ntie lusu boy and ntie ko support boy me ama boy me anza ko lusu. And then that kind of declaration here. And the candidate didn't say anything bad. And he wasn't.
Okay, I say, or the macho man 50. Ever call a constituency.
Officially, I don't know, but we would make sure that we help ourselves during the election.
Are they Musro say intimidation?
Of course, yes, we are intel. Yes, we have intel. We are more person, it's in our palms. What do I say? Oma microphone and namune can brag and if you're a prudent contestant, no baby, what do you do? So look at 2023. Acquire a sum for us. So I will be. Oh, why have videos in it? Yeah, can you Japan banning the Panach a fashion bottom?
I'm agent now.
Ubi Anubeku now Urafi showdown one. It was an agent who was being beaten in the north. And I Kennedy T or react to you.
Yeah.
So that is it. And a baby a Kennedy 0-0 a party chairman, a police station chairman say or no, or to say that try. At the chair Kennedy when Kennedy went there. And it does 0 no yan and you know correct. Next deliberately, no Muria Muma Bomia because Bomia is from the north. And going into the election again, you think that we'll go and sit there and just watch them steal? Would not be a disnoy a clone for Ofa Wadne. Obi o wi abamu ye kronfo. Enya no kre. Obi o wi abamu ere. Wa kronfo?
Yeah.
Enti wo kwa wo boa ho no wako. Na 7 internal election ye wiam. Yan wiam enso uni bibi. Sa ayi for edobaka old ayi executives edobaka hu. The list too many discrepancies. Come with different pictures. Some without photographs. What did I say? In some unfolding our album, and you're checking this, they were deliberately inserted. All these things are going on. What we can do as a group is to be very vigilant. And during the verification, we did enough. At least we did proxy vote, BTA, it is one of our positives. Ghost no so most of them. Some of them don't be shame pictures in him. You know, yet me identify. Now, if you come to Asante region, about 56 schools Tescom, only 2 of them were elected officers. All the rest were appointed by an officer of the party who supports Bawumia, who has openly decided to support Bawumia. On the coach will be, I'm not representing Tescom in their schools. Who do you think that person will choose? And so when we talk of democracy, you can't fairness. People don't understand. How can you, an executive who have decided to support one party, one candidate, choose people to stand in when the law says they should be elected officers? They have not been elected. One or appointed one. One appointed one. And this is some of the unfairness. So, you pay MPP, but yet you and you're careful. And we are they shouldn't think say they are stealing their own destiny in the future. Because if they steal, was it worth 2 million and then 4 million and yema a CEO a prime minister, no matter 2 million of the party people Antwaba. And if you say you are learning lesson, let's present a fair election. Let whoever wins win. Obi say Onyesho say me matuama MPP. If Bawumia wins. When Bawumia won, I was on about 3 committees, even though I supported Canada, Japan. Now, I say when there's a contest in the party, they don't want everybody to talk. How do we campaign for our candidate? Look at the vulgar language supporters of Bawumia use against Canada, Japan. Yet, I'm talking about issues. If Bawumia did not perform well in the north, I said it's not an insult. If he lost from 6 million to 4 million, it's not an insult. If he cannot win, he's not a winnable candidate. It's not an insult. They are issue based. What does I say? But when you can't say, hey, or say party, and democracy. This is democracy. We do these things, and when we are finished, we come together and contest.
But maybe somehow a bullets. We are the more position for say. That's our candidate, and how do you go and sell him?
How do I sell a candidate I've said cannot win? We have, when 2 people are contesting, we look at the advantages and disadvantages. What we are saying is that candidate Japan is a better candidate for MPP than Bawumia. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Bawumia cannot be a better candidate than an NDC candidate. I'm saying candidate Japan is better. Then I'll tell you the reasons for it. I will tell you the disadvantages of Bawumia's choice. That is not to say, or what that disadvantage against Canada, Japan. No advantage in Julius Debra.
I don't say Julius Debra never.
Okay, I see you doing it here. What does it?
How does you never?
But me can't say, oh man, the 2 likely candidates will be my friend this year. All the rest here. Last night I said Sami Jamfi. So I'm saying it. And the mechanics are not in cars say Bawumia to better than Julius Debra. I'm saying Canada Japan is better than Bawumia. And just vote for Canada Japan. Until let the party people know that when it's a democratic contest and we are there's no way we will not speak about the other candidate. It doesn't happen. And what is the big deal about sitting on TV and say Montuma Kennedy go Bawumia to me winning next election? What is bad about it? What does it? It is when they start insulting, that is when it's wrong.
Okay. But yeah, we are Canada Japan. About forcing the temper. Mr. Wati lawyer touch here, or in the school at this other college.
Yes.
Or say Canada Japan say obey president that we are cabinet will be assumed. I just have for on the mommy, you know. Or say the Canada Japan that he knows, you know. Or respect him, just say, inti Sandipa we pa bedi Ghana so de ne koko ne said you see kasa chire nipa no mara fact what how do you say it? Say okay, president
in fact to the contrary
for time
he will be all temperament no bukana huh? You don't know, like Trump. That's what we need today. To omono politically, they are not enlightened. We need somebody with temperament now.
Like Trump?
Yes. To rule Ghana. We need somebody like J.J. Uronis now to rule Ghana.
Why?
Because of his temperament. That's what we need. Royce no Oba Pass and Gardens director, Uyin Safwa, that Papa Nicanor Jago. Was Lawrence not a good president? And Appiah doesn't know what he's talking about. If he knew that temperament would have prevented some of them from stealing money, then he would know that that's the leader we need. So foreigners, the contract, the Bagana. Now you have a percentage of my won't sign contract because your president is always laughing. If you have a president with temperament, you can't do that. And most of the people who are saying those things are people who believe that if Kennedy Japan is president, because of their character, they cannot function as ministers or officials of government. Anything no more complaining. It's their selfish gain. Because how can you say they will be on this temperament to me, Mugana? What history? Abraham Lincoln no more change only mom. Who told you say temperament you have more? One more temperament no me my so nima make catch in there. And him for more temperament and no mutim di adema umsisan kunya. And this our cancer there no leadership qualities. That is what we need today. Papaya or te ayi Burkina Faso. We need temperament.
Captain Adamatore.
Yes. What is the word saying about him? And that temperament, nothing about him. And on the contrary, we need somebody with temperament to discipline the system so that these whole people who leave government and they queue for Yokono, it will stop. If we had a leader with temperament, nobody can touch the state money. Left alone, touching it, then the government quiet, Kwasala or Yoko. Can you see? And what do we need as a country? Discipline. Patriotic people. And that, it takes temperament to be a disciplinarian. We need temperament. And the temperament per se is not bad. Also, Muma, Canada, Japan respects women than any other person.
Baby mama na beka.
Baby mama no born da. What is second in Japan attorney in our parliament? Your parliamentarians are not home, Ghana. What is second in Japan attorney? What is she talking about? Na Sebi, or baby, Sebi. One second in Japan can't have them. Sa Nipano friend ba. Sa Nipano. Ya ultimately pursue ho dinner tem. Or no yoba. Oba omunu hu yebunu. Enti maame no the positive side of what he said was that the Japan as he knows there. Or no there, or your family and friends. Well, I can't statement no. Hey, is that not what Ghana like? And yet the happen no. And then I buy as family and friends. John Mama buy family and friends. Near now Canada, Japan, and your family and friends. Say it's better. And immediately to me, those attributes no I'm saying no man in your good leader. And no never a good leader. Now attach in fact Sebi asemo kan lawyer knew of such caliber and experience. How can you say Marafaka is bad language? Can't you know come Marafaka and they are the richest and the most strongest country in the world. What Ghana ha? What language in here? And so minor and you broke. There are no systems working. There are no human rights. Wo America no Marafaka no mpe. Unya Marafaka ka wabra boni. Unya Marafaka ka wabra boni. So Marafaka is not a bad language. It is a language of a group of people who are civilized, who are the strongest people on earth, who are the most developed and advanced. So what is Appiah telling us? Yankai kuyapim. Pacho say yo. Pacho say wa bia. Na yentin him. Is that language? And to me, it was irrelevant for him to have said that. Because it is American language. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad. So I'm saying it here. And Sebi, Tafrache, sa point no there. It was a non-point at all. It is looking for to say something about somebody na unya bibinka. Na ope bibiaka. Otherwise, American bro for there. You just say about.
Asofo no bi so kire se de osi attack asori ahodo o memu no. Also a Christian so no mu kra se on kwa asori. Nti
also on kwa asori.
We have a video that I watched or see on the Uncle, sorry.
Okay, so I don't just one sorry.
Okay.
The context which he said it. But let me start from here. Canada, Japan has never attacked any church. Bibi attack angels. I'm about we are saying from angels. Our misbehave no attack you. Who so attach sorry. Obi on any issue be an angel. Maybe I saw for no many issue. You're from saying angel way, above for angel. Tell no dear. And the Canada Japan has never attacked any church. In fact, my mentor bomb way. When you say Canada Japan's candidature, I saw from the Kumu contested.
Really?
Yes. And yet I saw for 3/4. I saw for a Kukudama Ghana, the corner, so me contested. Yes. This
Apostle Paul Kofi Appiah. On the meaning, no. I don't have you.
Who do my movie?
Apostle will be a child. One day, David.
I don't know my officer. I saw for now, we were Archbishop Bio, Ghana, one of the Orthodox churches. He called me and said, "Catch a Kennedy in a Tanachi." And you know, that impression said, "What attack?" So, what attack? Sorry, Bia. So far, what will be a pool? Na Kennedy ko attack na. Bonia wa any pa any dia wa he. He says say be born abaso no. Yes wo attack sofo. Me kura ma yisu we sofo. Angela obo obi apo. Na Kennedy Japan intervene. Na sisi osisi no waje ade na ma no. How can you blame Kennedy Japan for doing the right thing? It is Wofa. It is never factual. Say Kennedy Japan attack here sorry be.
So what the declarations are echoing? Members of Parliament your last year. And candidates or man winning 118 almost why your DNA. Doesn't it scare you? Say that the DNA conde
scare me. Losers are always losers. A group of losers, congregation of losers supporting someone. Now, make declaration. Will be a Santa one who will be a Pamono. What I don't know me was it may declare my now well there. So the really Messiah will be a warrior or nobody declares or the really Messiah. Me Dr. Bomia can make keep it to yourself and vote for me quietly. Certain members of Parliament declare, I know you're better. But I know some amichiromu number of boy and yes, I'm a native. So, you saw me a software be. To hear us, oh, me, yes, and Abba, as he was so supported. Not that they personally supported him. And I know one for a fact. Yeah, MMC is called and cry. Now I say, Oma declare support. I had friends in there. Immediately called them, so, nobody has agreed to do that. A few people in the Kojis Kai, yes, sir. Tescom executives, KNUST, called Dr. Baumia Fie, so much declare man, no tenor of officers, so no Kojom Kakanum declare, they were not going to vote. Yeah, they took advantage, went and took their share, 12,000, and declared. And you know, to me, waste of resources to mobilize people to declare for you. Because politics will be any free of charge. So, and it is not evidence that they vote for you. Remember, our ballot, secret. Secret ballot. And it doesn't make you a winner. And as far as our camp is concerned, like Natos said, that cannot scare us. In fact, when last declaration there, Obi on worry be declare or the ballot never come. And you know there, it doesn't scare us. In fact, we have many people declaring for us, and they are the grassroots, the polling station executive.
Can Cameroon commission a research team? Amama say, Abanobi winning. Na Ghana force Wajinatum. Have you done something like that?
Yes, we have a research department. Now, may I answer second one first? Say Ghana for Wajinatum. As a matter of fact, the reason why every MPP polling delegate who vote for Canada Japan is that the research says that Ghanaians are yearning for Canada Japan. And I'm also a rational being. Me na me so me tibi. Mikubu fuel amete. Metu fruit trotro amete. Miko joma amete. Miko court amete. Meti social media as no so amete. Income share ba nyina amete. Enti your research no so which I believe ni say Ghanaians are calling for Canada Japan. The party, the delegates, your research in such say we are winning hands down. We have now absolutely taken about 6 regions. Greater Accra is one of them. Massive.
But taking how many regions?
6.
6 out of the 16.
Yes.
Okay.
It is absolutely.
All them off
Fala. And then you answer your regions are here. Asante and your research no will come out shortly with it. Yes. Western Ko, Volta Ko, Greater Accra Ko, Kwana Eko. And meaning by the middle of the month near we, near whom you stand, Sebina 56%. But it is good because I did some mathematics, even though first one, you put me in a contest here. The 37% is a strong showing. We share Alan Crawford more our party about 90% of Canada Japan supporting Canada Japan. You get the point. That is why I'm very confident of the 37. See, I'm saying, I'm 50%. I'm very, very confident. And to add to it, a champion supporters say among risk votes. I do supporters among risk votes because they don't want to see Bawumia back in leadership. To me now on the D-Day, they vote for Canada Japan and ensure that we choose a clear leader. Yes, who will take the party.
This is how Crawford say. So candidates no more say or more better so what is keke.
Of course, and it's a known fact. It is right now. So Omo Bazon be test the waters. They are first timers, and they agree that they also have the future ahead of them. They say no, Canada, Japan, Bawumia area Omo bium. Ken, a winning or qua, there should be another person who wants to take over, and these are the people who believe they have the potential. That is what they are showing up to ensure that.
Who believe in global info analytics report? Amusada Nkwadiaba. And the report in our church said Ken Lady. I say that Bawumia the lady, but Ken I say they were close to gap. Do you believe that?
I believe and I don't believe. Almost 30 years, for instance. Nyamo de ba ya catch and figures or the buy. They were so wrong. Na Bawumia lead bed your Yenya call from campaign. We are not sure that is what it is. So the next post now can bridge gap. The third one now bridge now say now the reality is dawning on him. I don't know the formula he uses. So but each and every day the reality is dawning on him. It cannot be said that people did not support the message to support David. And if you look at his post, beginning now, undecided, it means he was not able to use technique to extract the information. And he designated them as undecided. That is not good polling. You should be able to extract the information from that.
Time be undecided.
By 20th January, no, Ken will be far ahead. On one put scientific means, because people have started coming out boldly to say that now we are supporting Ken. And some people came to my office who were otherwise with Bawumia. They said no, they want the party to win power. They've seen that Bawumia cannot bring power to the party. And these are scientifically proven. Musa Dankwa Kraswaka was it Bawumia winia Obilu supporter. And that is how it is. Yandie Yaji Nyamidi and Yaji Juma ya Juma or form Kenny Koi. Yes, you may mobilize you when you name Nachi. Nasan your Kakan Chile near Kadinachi.
Okay.
The Judas any Panbeja to no matter.
Right. It was for the punch, you may dear Enna or her or Kessben television. So, was I tell Kessben 93.3 FM. So your name lawyer William Kusi, you're director of communication for Ken Japan campaign team. Our Ashanti region and our aiding Ken by Neya and we are okro edi imunkomi. My message is now for me wrap up your last segment. Ken is a mature man and we are learning from him, but he must control his temper sometimes. Life is about God, not bragging. From Ura Kwame, Victory Land of Warriors Church, Dotte, and all the way free a buy. Kwame, acidity, I have watched you. In fact, many Ghanaians believe their living conditions are better now than previous government. Happy news to, okay. Good evening, please tell lawyer, whatever it is, Dr. Appiah will win this election. We are not at war. Ghana is a peaceful country, so we don't need Kennedy Japan. Nobody inside Achim Afosu. Okay, Kennedy Japan is not the presidential material. Delegates vote him out. Alex AJ from Sunyane. Was it not the same? Okay, we are not. Okay, wow, I'm messing now. By and was answer. Baby, okay. Good evening, offer, please. Your guest has clearly shown that Appiah is truly their nightmare. That is why he has been attacking Appiah and leaving the other candidates from Homo sapien, Prophet Hafumim. Also, more Makandi, or Metese Waters. Okay, Master Palan Jr. again. Nobody is saying that they will rig the election in 2020. Nobody rigged the election. Ask him where was their agent. This is the internal election. Tell a liar to speak what he does.
I gave you evidence.
He doesn't know and tell him to speak.
I gave you evidence.
Kennedy Japan admitted that 2020 election was fair. Kennedy Japan lost his own seat and lost most of the central region, which they gave it to him. Tell him that Kennedy Japan is not a winnable candidate and is not better than Dr. Appiah on any day. Right. Over the 7,000 employees by Ken in the country, may I know the number of factories these people are working? Ola from Agona. Good evening, please let the MPP members who are following the Appiah know that Ghanaians are not ready for another president who is also from the north. Tony Adepoku, Duasi News Site, Kumasi, and all the way free Ebae. For the most popular politician in Ghana is Appiah, not the others. Good evening, Mr. Host. Okay, please keep it clean. I have evidence. The NDC is funding Kennedy Japan, a former butterfly party, especially Hossein Adoye and others, to destroy and paint Dr. Appiah black just to destroy the NPP. Do you have any evidence? I have a brain and can't be why. Good evening, Honorable Ken is coming to rule Ghana as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did for 7 years. Unipane bon sam nam. Hey, we didn't know. Okay. Teacher consider, I think I read your message. Also, stop lawyer. Tell lawyer to stop lying. I will vote for Dr. Duchum today, tomorrow, and in the near future. Okay. Also, I say Dr. Duchum is not in the race to test waters. Also, Kennedy is the best candidate for MPP. Jerry from Sunyai Kutukum and all the way, and so a free a buy. Tell you could see that MPP delegates know Dr. Appiah is the face of the party and they are voting massively for him. So let's all preach unity of a question from Enya and all the way free a buy. We the youth want Ken. He is. He's I talk, I do. Please, delegates, don't vote for someone who ran away with our money like the way he did so his own countrymen. Who is that person? Yeah. Anyway, Ken is a winnable candidate for the MPP come 2028, so let's vote for him. Teacher Sante Wasasa and also the way free Ebae. I'll say, Wofa, good evening to you all and all the viewers. Please tell your guest that yes, the term motherfucker is widely considered a strong insult in English. It's a profane and offensive term that generally used to express anger, contempt, or aggression towards someone. Kennedy Japan currently has been exposed with time, so he's unpopular now. Fayo from Efija Kwabre North Boamai and all the way so a free a buyer. I mean, can you know pet na yemfa yeme rapport ha. Ahmed Sumi Hill Compound of I would like to appeal to all the MPP delegates not to repeat the mistake of 1995, where Professor Dubois was mistakenly changed for Jacob for and he lost miserably to NDC. They should therefore not try to elect a candidate whose constituency has been taken away by the NDC like Ken. John Mama in 2016 and 2020 lost to Nanado, but NDC maintained him, and with cohesion and togetherness, they won in 2024 election.
What an argument.
And also at the end, Mr. Host, please ask Leah about Ken's own backyard, Asin Central constituency. If he were that popular, his party will have retained that seat. Isaac from Kuchi and what way so if you buy. Okay, lawyer T.
Now, is a question in Pacho. If you did logic in school, is it logical? Was it if Ken was that popular, he would have maintained his seat? Was Ken contesting that election? It was his party that candidate lost and the party lost. So you don't bring Ken in here. He didn't contest. So why do you ask this question? That's a one committee that candidate in Louisiana. And it's so popular. One committee candidate in Louisiana. That's what can be Obewini. You see, some of this little-mindedness, it should stop. Why would you say Nkobe winning his seat when he had won the seat throughout the time of his contest? But Yaomia Ekuromonya saying, Nikuromonya saying, Amunya is Akaka. Oboba, many as more attack, and Mudamokanka, the idea, normal, also on the Yadinia punching back. It is our logic, it doesn't stand. Ken contested as an MP and at all times won his seat. That is his credit. And if somebody contests the seat that he was, no lose. You have to Ken wasn't Kokoji seat in man. Hey, I say more than ever near Cano. And yet, the seat, no, Sassi now can lose you and you can lose you and Pamcho. I can't lose you, one yet, Najuma, you know, lose you, you can lose you.
All right. Yemaha 2028 election. Do you think Sebe Yemre, I'm an MPP?
Not at all.
If you say, oh, hey, I buy a tournoi, how are they done in few or three?
Yes.
Would you say MPP, wait me about power just after 4 years in opposition?
It's a difficult one. That's why we need a candidate who is robust enough to stand that kind of contest. You know, sir, even in government, and this is for normal bro. So yeah, where? Electoral commissioner, so I'm gonna declare. And we are delegate now to about per candidate. Obaka say no to those things. Yan to about we na candidate be a jatum. So me had me shame them makanti mo. You declare half the Caesar yan can we na crofon somedia. You call court. How many seats do you win? 7 or so. I declare here. We want them in court. So on Senate, you know.
But tensions are no man. No, so you say
there was no tension. Sir, because of inexperience in politics, he thought it was tension. It wasn't. What was the tension? Ababen yatwe ebe bo attention. Yatwa ba we you do we it tension. Tension if him.
Is that okay?
When the EC declares, you just have to admit. You get the point. But meanwhile, it is the NDC who was beating the MPP and forcing people to say well we when in fact they have lost. And to ajitu muno, ya jifri ya semuno. That's the tension. That is why we have the micro minority today. And yes, 2028 is not going to be easy. That is why we are pleading with the delegates, vote for Canada, Japan, who can stand strongly, boot for boot, and contest and win the election.
So that may okay. Say 2028 mo be yedin. Na enye easy. Say we are MPP bit me win after 4 years. Now so the kinds of cancel the last time near will can be available in 2032.
Yes.
In the event say MPP lose. So somebody say
so Lusudia Ken as a businessman may not even want to contest it.
The Ebasa, what will happen to MPP in 2032? Was that I feel I'm a candidate for.
Yes. We should say that is why I do human hotelier your friends. Brian are showing up so that they will start selling their property. So as make a wife don't say fuck them. Because they have to be popular. knowing that Ken is the most popular and Baumia di actually no. Almost also mudiso. And they say no, Brian ya biti aduchum kakra odiso. That aduchum di actually. And that's how it's going. The
Baumia is ahead of all of them.
There be Ken is.
The last prime minister said Baumia.
Baumia comes with negative popularity. That's what I mean. Yes.
What do you mean by negative popularity?
There are certain things about him that makes him very unpopular with the people. Economic issues, dollar issues, and tribal conflict. It makes him very unpopular. And he has contested, yes, but his popularity comes with negativity. So I'm saying that MPP can sell a fresh candidate and win election, depending on the circumstance of the country. And then that cry and they say, what is present is let's get the best.
Let's assume
candidate.
say NDC winning 2028.
Yes.
Now more candidates in Sako 2032. Now MPP present a fresh person. So Canadian Japan NTMia maybe you are. Is he going to
MY, but we have to contest.
Yes. And then among per candidate and obit masa could be if you this one were in your crown beer or sabut masa presenting for the next.
How can a serious group of people project to say the candidate to be lose 3 times? It should be an accident.
But that's what has happened. Nanadu lose 3 times.
They didn't project. No, we were sure Nanadu was going to win. What did I say? We were sure Nanadu was going to win. When Baumia, if you read Japadia, Baumia, they thought would not win. By the time he there's no single paragraph that has not come to pass. Me will be in office. Yes. There's no single paragraph that has not come to pass. And we are waiting for Kennedy upon to destabilize the Japadia project. Otherwise, it is still working. And Baumia's candidature was not meant for victory. There's a project candidate who is being matured to take over. That is a projection of one group of people in the MPP. So I'm saying that here. But it will be unfortunate for anybody to think, say, may the candidate call in every election we contest to win. And that is what candidate Japan stands for.
Okay. It's good enough. I tell lawyer that his man is not a marketable. Come to Senate East constituency and see if there is campaign for Ken. He rather intimidating party faithfuls from Oheneba Senate East constituency. Senate East. I think it's Prime. So those areas, yeah. Famous from famous from Answa Grace. Some greetings to you, Wofa, and your guests. In fact, Ken all the way. And also a day or day a buyer and so and no. Also, in fact, the man is your studio is a traitor. The personality of Ken does not qualify him to be president.
Traitor, may a member of MPP from 1992, but me was not even a member.
Okay, right. Say moto abani wia muhia enkabo mu.
Yes.
But I ain't amoye primacy nintemu nyina no. So we benya time to heal all the wounds that by. The ekoswe campaign mu sem ne ade ekoswe. Muhu say after 31st January we benya that unity. Now we are 2028 about kabo mu benya.
As far as our camp is concerned, we have not had any issue with anybody.
Yes, about
what is Obi
Baumia Ken Bitimia Kudinachi say Montoma Baumia.
So or winning fairly there, why not? He did it in the past and he will do it again. Baumia na menya sure say Ken we no be kwa Kudinachi. But Ken di obekwa Kudinachi. Yes, so I be pay. Me Dinachi na call ayi in carry in this environment no yiska. A support to the traditional areas and others during that campaign 2024. I was a member of Reconciliation Committee. We supported. Now, look, you started a contest. Me need Baumia as a follow BHT attempt that. But the issues is there. Nobody will be cowed from mentioning as it is. We are convincing people to vote for Kennedy Japan. And we are saying that the one who is contesting firmly with Ken is Baumia. And let's look at the candidature of Bawumia as we say Kennedy Japan. Let's look at Bawumia. Is there any disadvantages that he has which will not inure to the party? Then we tell them so that it will increase the value of Kennedy Japan, and they will vote for him. That's exactly what we are. Nobody has insulted Bawumia.
All right. 80. If I push you to the wall,
Yeah.
say na ubinya percentage in ubinya 31st January.
56.
56%
Yes.
for Kennedy Japan.
Yes.
One touch.
Untouched. Bawumia 20.
But ubinya 20%.
Now they are can
Me record to hold.
Churo.
I'm recording this video.
True.
We say Kennedy Japan ubinya 56%. Now ubinya say 20%.
Now, from today, we starting count another 9th, 8th.
Yes, Seattle.
By 20th, something will happen, and we will crowd to studio about Canada, Japan winning.
By 20th of this month.
Yes, something will happen. We crowd to studio about Canada, Japan has already won the election. Every MPP candidate who know, delegate who knows that at the end they mistake, they will co-opposition.
Lawyer, that's it. So bye.
Me so me da say.
And so for hand your day dwumadie no esi enanwumre wote lawyer William Kusi on a director of communication market in Japan campaign for MPP flag bearership race Ibeba so 31st of January 2026 and now 8 January we have just about 23 days na ebrena so akoro from time no so the will be no e be other candidates nso omunso nipa beba ha na yeti omonso ano asem malam ya na bo asibia no mai medin Kofi Appiah onyame adom a ebe se hye bio yakramo bye bye.